Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar on mastering deal flow management using the Startup Nation Finder. Today, we'll focus on a case study of investing in industrial robotics sector in Israel. I'm Yariv Lotan, VP of Product and Data, and I'll be walking you through how to leverage our platform to build a robust investment thesis, identifying key opportunities, and manage your deal flow effectively. Whether you're a venture capitalist, private equity investor, or part of an investment team, this session will provide actionable insights on using our platform to effectively deal management within Israel. So what's on the agenda? Well, we'll start by researching your investment thesis using our spotlights and industry reports. Then we'll be searching for relevant Israeli startups that fit your investment criteria. Then we'll generate a deal flow bot with relevant alerts, move on to creating a watch list to get signal alerts on curated companies and personalizing this list using our notes feature. Then visualizing all of that using our landscape map, a very new feature. And finally, especially for you, an insider look into our new dashboard to be released soon. Before we dive into the demos, I'd like to remind everyone that we highly value your feedback and look forward to your questions throughout the session. Please feel free to type them in the chat at any time or send them to our email displayed in the banner below. We also have a dedicated Q&A at the end, so stay tuned. So let's start. We start by researching your investment thesis of the industrial robotics by understanding how you can use our reports. Well, the industrial robotics in Israel is experiencing significant growth due to increased automation, advancements in AI, and demand for operational efficiency. So what we recommend here is to go into our report section where you can see the vast array of assets we've created, and we keep adding to them monthly, even more. And as you can see here, we have the Israeli Robotics Tech Landscape 2024. You can use that as a starting point and then really understand the sector, the group, this cluster, the sector distribution, industrial, agri, health, and so on, the trends, the notable companies, the growth of this cluster of companies, understand the funding trends, and so on. And this would be a great place to start your research. Now, we want to move on and really see the companies that are interesting for us. So we'll go on to the startup search page, where you can see we have two very interesting features for you. One is the very long number of filters you can use to find and define your investment thesis. And then we have the market data, which basically it's an analytics dashboard that changes interactively to understand how the funding and the number of companies really change over time in that specific group of companies you're interested in. So in this case study, we really want to find the robotics company. So we'll go to the tag area, type in robotics. Once we pick that, the nearly 9,000 companies will filter down to 180. These are all the active robotics companies in Israel. If you want to really research that, I recommend going to the bottom and adding at the beginning also the ability to see non-active companies, not just the active ones. This will really give you a full picture of robotics in Israel over time. And if we want to move into generating a bot that will really create a deal flow for us, then we'll remove the non-active, go back here, remind ourselves we want to focus on industrial. So we'll type in sector. This is sector of innovation. So we have the industrial technologies part. Now that we chose not only robotics, but also industrial technologies, now we really filter it down to 71 companies. And since we are, in this case, an early stage investor, we'll want to also be able to filter and focus only on companies that are pre-funding or have raised pre-seed or seed. And now, basically, we have a dynamic search. A dynamic search means it will change every time you look at it. And when we define the bot to get the alerts on new companies coming into the dynamic search or companies leaving, for example, companies that are already raised A will be removed from the list. That is a great signal for you that this company that you looked at actually moved out of your deal flow pipeline. So now we have 32 companies, and we want to save this. So we're saving this search, meaning we can have a dynamic search. So we can type robotics, industrial deal flow, and now we have this dynamic search saved. And if we want to get those alerts, we can actually pick, if we want to get the alerts about new companies or companies that have left the search on a daily, weekly, or monthly. Let's say I want daily. And now we will get to our email updates on every company that is either being added or taken out of the list. Now, we want to move to the next phase, which is curation. So we can basically pick the relevant companies we want and add them to the watch list, or simply pick all the companies by clicking on the top tick box, add those, and we'll create a new watch list. Let's say robotics, deal flow, pipe, and we can really write all the relevant notes here. Industrial, robotics, early stage. And actually here, we're not only curating the relevant companies that we want to pick, which will not change unless we update the list. We can also, using our signal bot, define the type of events we want to track. So let's say I only want alerts about investments, about acquisition, public offerings, partnerships. I don't need those. And I want also changes in management in those teams or changes in use cases, which is actually our way of tracking the different products and solutions companies offer. Now that we've created that, we basically have our watch list of the companies we really want to track and add information about. So we can go to our watch list and see the companies we are now really tracking. So we have the robotics pipeline. We have all the analytics that I showed you before. And now we can look at the companies and decide which of them are more interesting. Let's say I've met Manti already. So I can write this. I met the founder. Great team. Now I have this note about the company, and I can add notes and personalize the list as I want to. Now let's say I want to really use the group feature, which allows us to classify companies. Let's say I want to classify them by where they stand within my pipeline. So let's say I create the top companies, and then also, let's say, medium companies, or the companies that I want to research. And let's say also companies that I want to meet. So now we have the 4 groups we want to use for this watch list, and I can easily go on to the list and define each of them very, very quickly, who I want to meet, who I want to research, who I found to be top priority, and who are still medium. And let's say these are all the companies that I've mapped. Now, I have this list, which, by the way, I can easily share with my colleagues. Just copy the link and use the social media, or maybe even share it with my followers, depending on the purpose of the watch list. And now, I want to really enjoy the full power of Finder data, which is really the most up-to-date one in the Israeli ecosystem. Let's say I go to Menti. Now you can see this profile, company profile, which you have an overview, business, financials, life cycle, news, team, and so on. I can see in charts the relevant data. I'll show them in a minute. I can see the top news. And also, we've added AI analysis, which allows us to know for each news article whether it's positive or negative for the company's growth and the topics. And we can use the similar companies area where we actually have an algorithm that maps the companies that are similar in different parameters, and I can decide and see whether there are areas I want to add. Let's say that I'm not interested to see automation companies, not just the specific company. If I'm pressing automation here, I will go immediately to a list of the automation companies. I look on the list. Let's say I see Tria here, and it's interesting for me. I can look into it and simply say I want to add it to the list. I'm adding it to our pipeline for robotics, and suddenly I have a curated. So I added a company that is not robotics by definition, but that I, as an investor, decided that it's worth meeting them or following up, and I can see. Here I also want to show you, on top of the similar companies, which is a great way to add relevant companies and really add more to the list. I can also see the team and see the employee graph. But also, by the way, you can use, and this is why Finder is an engagement platform, we can use the connect here and simply connect directly to the people we want. Let's say I want to connect to Avi, the CEO and founder, and I can use that. He will get an email, approve me, and then we can start connecting, and then you can take it on the platform, off the platform as you need. So now that we saw this, I also want to show you the charts on each company. As you can see and track the timeline, the investments, employees, and the news graph, and everything else in the financial aspect of the company, to really get a very, very full view of the company and what it entails. So now let's go back to our watch list. I went to the list of watch list. Now I go into the robotics again. I have this. Now, this is a great view, but I can also use a graphic view, which is the landscape map feature we added recently, where you can actually see in a graphic way the pipeline of top, medium companies to mid companies to research that we have created. And I can even share this specific map or print it for myself, whatever helps me. And this is really a great feature. This feature actually can not only just include startups, can also include other investors or other multinationals that I want to add to this topic. And also, I can use this as a way to create a landscape map that I can share with my colleagues on social media. And if I go into a map of fintech solutions we've prepared, you can see top fintech companies across the value chain, and you can see all these companies that are mapped. You can hover over them and see really the highlighted details, and this will actually give you the most up-to-date map, because it doesn't only allows you to create a landscape map very easily, but it also kept being updated with the latest news of each company, and that is a great way to share this and follow this sector. So, without further ado, I want to move on into the last part, which is the deal intelligence dashboard, the one I promised. So, here, as you can see, within Finder, we are going to release an investor dedicated dashboard that will allow you to investigate the ecosystem and the deals. So here I can really define that I want, let's say, to see deals that are from 100 million. I want to, let's say, we talked about automation and so on. So let's focus on industrial companies. So here, I'm focusing only on industrial. You can see there are very few deals above 100 million. So let's take it down a little bit. And as we go, let's say I want to see from 25 million. And now it immediately updates. We see only the industrial robotics deals, industrial technologies. We see the different deals, total, median, and so on. We can see the list of companies. We have the key highlights. We can further go into specific tags and so on, run type, and we can see each of the relevant companies and see all the relevant deals that were made that meet our criteria and the list of investors. And we have added also a very cool feature that really analyzes each deal and compares it to similar deals in the same sector, in the same stage, and on the same year. So top quartile really defines the top 25% of deals in that sector, in that year, and in that stage. And you can see which companies really were highly thought after in that deal, or alternatively, maybe had a different kind of deal attractiveness. So this is something we're piloting. We urge you and invite you to register. We can still add very few of you to the pilot, and then later on for the early release. So sign in, and that really completes our demo for today. What I want to really invite you again to, since we've covered so much, I'd like to be able to answer your questions. So please type in the chat or send us through email, and we'll answer them right after this short recap video that we've made on everything we've covered today. So thank you very much for joining us, and stay tuned for the Q&A. Bye-bye now.
In the fast-paced world of tech, Startup Nation Finder provides frictionless access to Israel's impatient innovation. Finder, a free business engagement platform, connects global solution seekers with every corner of Israel's dynamic tech ecosystem, enabling strategic decisions based on real-time financial insights. Get curated deal flow to discover hidden opportunities and nurture business growth. Create and manage personalized watch lists based on multiple factors, and turn these lists into your working tool with notes, data charts, and generated content. Finder allows you to track and receive email alerts on the latest tech breakthroughs, so you'll never miss out on the next big thing. Every decision becomes an informed one with comprehensive profiles of public and private companies, as well as multinational corporations. Dive into financial data, discover relevant businesses, and stay updated on every change. Get to know your next investment inside out and connect directly with stakeholders. Gain unparalleled insights into investor behaviors and trends. Study funding strategy, sector focus, and recent announcements, all visualized through intuitive graphs. The latest industry reports and sector maps are packed with data on the challenges tackled by Israeli tech. Discover your next investment opportunity with Finder.